Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Circle. Today, we are joined by an incredibly special guest. You may know him from clubs such as Oakham School, Loughborough, Hampstead and Westminster, Southgate Hockey Club, Melbourne Hockey Club out in Australia, and then Holcombe Hockey Club, which is his current club at the minute. International stats: he made an England debut in 2022 with 13 caps and 3 goals. International achievements: multiple underage caps for England GB with a 2018 and 2019 Sultan of Johor Cup winner. Pro League in the 21-22 and the 24-25 season as well. Off the pitch, he has a Loughborough Uni degree in management science. He also was the Loughborough social media manager for the men's squad and is leading the way for social media for hockey and hockey players. Please welcome to the podcast, everybody, Matthew Ramshaw.
Thank you for having me, mate.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you very much for joining us. How's things going?
Yeah, really good. Really enjoying sort of how the season's going for us so far. We've had some ups and downs. Really enjoying the social media side of things as well. Lots of fun on there, like lots of things to come. It's been like the past sort of year or so is like have my life sort of gone in a different direction to maybe I thought it would previously. But yeah, everything's good and really enjoying things at the moment.
Brilliant. And how's the season so far going with Holcombe and the club over there with you?
So we've had sort of a mixed bag of results. We've been on the wrong end of a few results as well, maybe by sort of one goal, or we've even drawn some that maybe we thought we should have won, which can lead to frustration, especially on our end. But we've got a really young squad. We've got a lot of potential. It's just sort of putting that into practice really, and really making the most of it. Again, like a lot of new players. We've had maybe 6 or 7 signings this season as well.
Wow.
So getting everyone on the same page. Maybe sort of this season as well as sort of a building season into the next sort of, you could say, like up to 3-4 years time, for where we want to be. Obviously, we go out there, try and win every single game that we can. We want to try and win the league. I think that's everyone's goal. But yeah, maybe things haven't quite got off the start we wanted to. But yeah, it's something to build off. And I think everyone in the squad that's still really excited and looking forward to what we can achieve.
Oh, brilliant. It's always good that having those players come in knowing that, yeah, maybe a building season for the next season or the season after that. And if everyone's on that sort of same page, it makes life so much easier then.
Yeah, 100%. I think, well, most of our squad is under the age of 25. We did a training session the other day of old v young, and for the first time, I've ended up in the old group. So I'm 25. So a lot of our players are under 25, like just sort of fresh out of university. Some even like still doing uni as well. So yeah, it's really exciting. I think obviously they've got like lots to learn as well. Coming out of uni, playing Prem hockey, it's a massive step up to maybe sort of where they've been playing previously as well.
Yeah, that's good, and it's exciting times then ahead for you.
Yeah.
What to go right back to the very start? Then, what got you into hockey in the first place?
So both my parents played.
Okay.
My dad founded his own club called Airedale. Back I actually don't know when that, but yeah, he founded his own club. Mum like joined that club as well. So I've been around hockey my entire life. Like, as soon as I could pretty much walk, like, I had a hockey stick in my hand. Like, I actually played like with a spatula and a tennis ball in the like kitchen and in the living room when I was younger. So yeah, I've always been around hockey. And then I think maybe when I was maybe 5 or 6, like my dad would take me down to his training session, I'd just sit on the side, sort of just knock a ball about. Then when I got a bit older, I just ended up like literally smashing it against the fence while he was training. And then by the age of like 8, maybe even younger, 7 or 8, I was playing like under 10s, so like with people that were obviously way bigger and older than me. Playing that, being involved in that, and I've loved it all my life. So I've pretty much been involved in it from as soon as I was born, effectively.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't skip any steps or anything there.
That's the way to do it. And I'm sure you were then the kid that was at halftime on the pitch, smacking the ball in the net, jumping off just as they were coming back out.
I spend that, even like I warm up, like my dad, like some of it was like he playing like the 1s and 2s. So I join in their warm up sometimes and just be like involved in that, even though obviously was never going to play. I was like 10, 11 years old, but I'd still get involved in it. I'd always be like asking to go to training early, so he'd like take me down to training early before even like junior stuff started. So we started at like 6 p.m. or something. We'd be down from like 4:30. We'd just go straight from school, spend an hour and a half just knocking a ball around. So any excuse to get onto the pitch, I'd take it. Really, I didn't miss anything.
Brilliant.
Like, get my homework done straight down to the pitch, or even like skip the homework and down to the pitch as soon as I could.
Oh, brilliant. That's the way to do it. I think there's like that's how you learn those basic skills of just stop the ball,
Yeah,
hit the ball, and it keeps the enjoyment going.
yeah, like 100%. And to that, even now it hasn't changed. Like, I'll go down to the pitch as often as I can. Like yesterday, like sort of like GB training, um, me and Sam Taylor went down to the pitch early to do some shooting. Like, you just want to get on as much as you can. I don't think you ever really lose that
No.
love for the sport. I think it's always there. Um, and yeah, I'll probably continue playing it as well until I can't walk or anything like that. Like, I'll spend my entire life on a hockey pitch.
Good. That's what we like to hear. What was then your sort of journey through youth hockey like? So obviously you started a bit in that under 10s. Then what led you to sort of that underage international sort of level then?
Yeah, so my route through, so I'm like age trapped as well. So I'd always have to play a year up in like the England system
Okay.
stuff. Because I'm born the 20th of December, so I'd always be the youngest in the group. But yeah, played under 10s, under 12s, like all the way through the junior stuff for Airedale and Benreading. And then my like England junior stuff started at England under 16s. So I played through that, then did a year early of 18s, then obviously my year at 18s, and then while I was in my final year of 18s, I got a chance to train with the like EDP or the under 21s at that point. I did like a few sessions there, but they decided that I just wasn't quite at that level yet, so stayed with my 18s. Then went up, did what would it have been 3 years, 4 years of under 21s at EDP, um, which is like that's when you learn. There's a massive. I think there's a bigger step up from under 18s to under
Okay.
21s than there is 21s to seniors. Just in terms of like the physicality, the jump from 21s to seniors is more about your decision making
Okay.
and just the speed of the game is so much quicker. But from 18s to 21s, like you're more playing men's hockey in that sense. Um, but yeah, I had a really good under 21s. We won Joe Hall
Mm.
twice. And then also got silver at Euros as well. So I had a pretty good sort of junior career the whole way up, pretty standard um, time as well. And then into the seniors. So yeah, I made the seniors just when I just got out of uni. So I was in that from when I was about 21. Then made my debut in 2022 at home against France, which was really exciting, like really good to play in. Then I was in the squad for about a year and a half. Um, and then I got cut from it. So that's when I went away to Oz, like played a season out there, came back, retrialed, and then like back in again, and sort of that's where we currently are now.
Brilliant. And how obviously with that journey, even through that underage and then into seniors, it obviously has its ups and downs and things like that. How did you find? How was it for you? Some people thrive in that sort of up and down nature of that. It can be quite cutthroat. Some people struggle in the juniors, but then find their way back into the seniors in a slightly different way. How did you find it?
So I like it when things are like difficult. I don't particularly like it when things are comfortable. That I just tend to like not really enjoy it, or as it says, like devil makes work for idle hands. Like
Yeah.
I just sort of like go off the rails a little bit. Like I need a sort of challenge and something to work towards. So when there's like a bit of pressure, I quite enjoy it.
Mm.
Uh, and when there's something riding on it, like obviously that first year and a half I was in it, I just wasn't up to the standards. That's why I obviously got cut. But and that's the way sport
Yeah.
is. Like it's savage in that sense. Like one day, like you're living out your dream, and the next it's done. Um, which yeah, that's never a nice feeling. But it sort of drove me more. I was just like, right, you need to get like you want to be playing it, you loved it, you've got to get back into it.
Yeah.
Um, but just having that breakaway in Oz as well was just nice to separate the English stuff, and just like experience different culture, experience different style of hockey, and just like get back to enjoying it really. Um, but yeah, as you mentioned, like the challenges and they're never easy. Like some people struggle in it. Some people it's just not quite their bag. Um, but for me, it's something that I do enjoy. I always like having a challenge. Always like having something to work towards. I'm like very goal
Yeah.
orientated. Have been my entire life, and that probably isn't going to change. Um, but you've got to be like mentally strong as well. Like even when you're in the squad, and like maybe you're not getting picked for games and things like that. That it's something that on the outside world maybe people don't
Mm-hmm.
notice. but on the inside you're like, oh my god, like, I've been training for however long, like, I really want to be playing. So it can be quite gutting as well, maybe not picked for games, but in another sense, like, I can just drive you to be even better and drive you to be stronger and like train harder and train more. So there's two sides you can take it really. You can take it sort of and have a strop about it, or you can take it like, right, this is what I need to work on.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to get better.
Yeah. And that's fair enough. Was there any notable coaches that helped through that process? Either sort of helped you with the disappointment element of things, or just helped you, gain so much on the pitch?
Obviously, like Kwan, my club coach, is massive in that sense. He's helped me improve massively, and he really works with like my style of play and how I want to play. So obviously, he's massive in that sense. Like my dad, my mum, like both my parents, obviously are huge in sort of getting you back on track and figuring out what you want. Without them, like, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. They played a massive influence in my hockey career. When I was younger as well, like probably like 16 to 18, my club coach at Ben Reading, like Demi Dowley, she was huge and like massively influential in sort of my junior development, like stepping into men's hockey. And then James Bateman at school, like sort of like refined me. I would say I was like quite a raw player. From 16 to 18, probably still am a little bit now, but sort of like refined those emotions, like got me back on track. Like we had sort of, again, like ups and downs at school, but he was massively influential on that sort of emotional side of things. So they're probably the coaches that I say have had the biggest impact on me, in terms of like shaping my hockey career, and they've told me some like pretty hard truths as well. And like you've got to have that relationship with your coach. If they can't come and tell you like when you're being an idiot or when you need to sort yourself out, it's probably not the right coach for you. And I think that came from me having respect for them and them having respect for me, and they knew that I wanted to be the best I can. And sometimes you just got to be brutally honest with your players and be like, you need to get a grip and sort yourself out. And they were always able to do that, which again, like that works for me. I don't want someone to beat around the bush and be like, oh, like put an arm around my shoulder. Just tell me what you want me to do, or tell me what I need to change, and then I can go and do it straight away.
Yeah. And I think once you have a good relationship with a coach, no matter, as silly as it sounds, how good technically the coach is, it makes a world of difference in terms of, just like you said, you there's the respect element, and both of you can trust each other on going, if I say this, they're going to execute it to as much of their ability as possible.
Yeah, that trust is huge, because like some people take some of the stuff that coaches say personally. Like the coach isn't there, like they're not trying to bully or trying to be mean. They want you to be the best player that you can be. And you said that trust is super important, and that doesn't just come all the time, like with every single coach. Something you got to build up, and you got to know that they are, again, like wanting the best for you. They want to improve you. They're not doing it just to try and be difficult. Yeah. And maybe like sometimes you can have coaches where you just don't get on and just don't click. And you got to be able to recognize that as a player and be like, well, maybe this isn't the best environment for me. And you've got to be quite cutthroat as a player as well. Like if it's not working with the coach, then maybe you need to sort of like, maybe there's another club for you, or maybe you need to sort of like look elsewhere, and find inspiration in other areas.
Yeah. And with that sort of element of wanting to better yourself each time, was Loughborough the only choice really to go for uni, in terms of, I'm going to get as much hockey as possible as well as the academic side?
Yeah, Loughborough. I always wanted to go to Loughborough. I didn't really look anywhere else. I think all 4, maybe even 5 of my uni choices were Loughborough, just different degrees. I was pretty much always going to go there. Even while I was at school, I played for Loughborough Uni. So from like 16, I played there. Like school would drive me over, and I trained there. So I wasn't going anywhere else. And with Loughborough, you're surrounded by multiple, well, like Olympians, different sort of professional athletes in varying sports. And you go there and you basically get to live out being a professional athlete. Like you get nutrition, psych, S&C, pretty much anything you can imagine is there, and you get. So yeah, it was pretty straightforward choice for me, and it was exactly how I wanted to live my life. In terms of, basically, I played hockey and did my degree on the side, was how it was. Like hockey was the main thing, and that's how it is for I think a lot of the players who come out of there and like want to be successful in that. That and Loughborough allow you to do that, and they understand that like you really want to be an athlete, and that's your main focus and your main goal at that point, and they help you on the sort of education side and getting your degree as well there.
Yeah. Was there anything that when you went there, probably not, since that was the place that you always wanted to go, was there anything there that really surprised you of going, oh, this is what a professional sort of athlete would be like, or God, I've never thought about having a psych, or anything like that?
I think going to uni is you realize that like compared to school,
Yeah.
like you realize it comes down to you. Like at school, like the teachers will sort of like push you along and be like, right, you need to get this done. You need to get at uni. It's like, right, you do what you want to do. It's all on your own back, really.
Yeah.
If you want to go to the gym or if you want to like train or again like if you need to get your lectures done, nobody's going to chase you for it. You'll just fall behind everyone else. So I guess in that sense, like, it's a little bit of a wake up call in that you've got to just get after it,
Yeah.
really. And nobody's going to push you. And you realise that as an athlete as well. Like you see some of the swimmers that especially they're up at 4 a.m. like going out for a session, and you just like my god, like there's completely like there's levels to this
Yeah.
game. Um, in that sense, and especially the individual athletes, it all comes down to them. And I lived with a few individual athletes, so you get a sense of like, wow, you like it's that well, it's basically them against the world. Whereas we have a team behind
Yes.
us who can support you, so it's slightly different in that sense. But it really was like a bit of an eye opener in that if you want to make it to the top, you it comes off you really. It's all on your own back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes our biggest challenge as hockey players is if the pitch is going to be frozen and not having to get up at 4 a.m. So it's not that
Yeah.
bad when we look at it that way.
Yeah. In comparison to what it could be, I think we actually live a pretty easy
Yeah,
life compared to some of the sports.
exactly. And obviously to play our sport, you need some equipment. So what brand and equipment are you using at the minute?
Yeah, so I've in the past, what would it have been like 3 months? I moved over to Nike. So I signed with them for like 3 months ago, and that's everything that I use now, like top to
Yeah,
bottom. So I absolutely love it. The stick that I'm using at the moment is the Night Laser Select. So not quite their highest carbon model, just the one down
mhm,
from that. And I absolutely love it. It's one of the nicest sticks I've used. Been able to talk to Nike as well in the sense of they're really open about sort of getting feedback, and they're not a brand that likes to stand still in like, and in comparison to other brands who just like pretty much produce the same stick every year and just slap a different paint
yeah,
job on it. They always want feedback. They want to improve on the sticks. They want to make them better. So that's always a nice feeling, and they're asking for feedback. Like, what do you want to change? Like, I went out for dinner with them. What it had been maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and we basically just talked shop the
yeah,
entire time. And it's like, well, what can we do? How can we improve it? Like, what have you noticed? Which is really nice because it actually shows that they
yeah,
care as well. And they've really looked after me in that sense as well. Anything I've needed, like shoes, shin pads, glove, stick, they're just like, just ask us and we'll get it sent over to you straight away, like clothes and things like that. So they definitely know how to look after their athletes. And I don't think that's a surprise considering what they done previously with some of their other
true.
ones. But it's a nice change in comparison to what I've previously had within the hockey
Yeah,
world. Um, it's nice to know that like what you're doing in the sport is appreciated, and the company that is sponsoring you, and they are actually really looking after you and looking out for you as well in that
yeah.
sense.
That's definitely how we felt when they initially approached us about the whole hockey thing and sort of becoming part of the sport. It was a really interesting conversation going, actually, they're almost feels like they're far more interested in some brands at the minute with going, let's keep this going. How are things going with this? Are people liking them? What's the feedback from it? Just like you said there, it's amazing how much they want to be involved with the brand, which is a really strange thing to say about hockey brands.
Yeah, yeah. I think hockey, in comparison to a lot of other sports, has got a long way to go in lots of
Yeah.
areas, including the equipment. Like, if we're being honest, it hasn't exactly improved in the past. You could even go like 10 years.
Mm.
Like, there hasn't been any major changes. Nobody's really. sort of thought outside the box. Like, there's been different bows and things like that. Maybe like the white face on a
Yeah.
stick, but there's been no real innovation. But you compare that to other sports, and like they're trying to improve as quick as they can. And I think hockey's got a long way to go in that sense. But again, like with Nike, it's nice to see that they want to do that
Yeah.
and they want the feedback, and especially like getting the knowledge from the players, because we're the ones that are using the sticks every single day. Like surely we're the ones to ask, and they've realised
Yeah.
that. So yeah, like they don't want to stand still. They want to innovate and show the world what they can do. Really.
Yeah. And then, so you said briefly that you're using that laser select stick. What else? So what's your stick setup? It's always an interesting question to ask people.
In terms of like the bow and
Bow,
balance.
balance point, how many grips you put on? Because I always go back to Jake Wetton, who we chatted about before, or chatted with before. He gets a really headlight stick, but then puts like 90 million grips on it, and it looks like a baseball bat. Then, so it's interesting to
Yeah,
see how people like it in that sense.
yeah. I'm not a fan of having it like really thick. So like in terms of like the actual stick itself, so I use a 37.5. It weighs 525 to 523
Okay.
grams, and then it has a 400 mil balance point. So and then I like extra low bow is basically, so that's the whole stick. That's what I
Yeah.
use, and then because I like it quite like the weight towards the handle
Yeah.
more. Don't really like it when it's head heavy. Like as a forward as well, I want to be able to move it quickly. Don't want to be like lugging basically
Yeah.
a sledgehammer around. So and then I'll grip it. I'll basically just put some like zinc oxide tape around the grip, just to thicken it out a little bit, and then it'll give something for the chamois to grip
Yeah.
onto. So now I'll put the chamois around, and then tape that at the bottom. The other thing that I do as well around like the top of the stick, so around the top of the handle, is sometimes like the stick will go in at the
Yeah.
top, but feels like my hand's going to slip off the end. So I'll just make the top like a little bit thicker with some tape, like literally about that
Yeah.
thick. You see it on a lot of ice hockey sticks.
Oh
They just
yes.
make like the top thicker, so they have something to grip onto. So that's how I like mine. So yeah, literally make the top a bit thicker, zinc oxide tape, chamois grip, and then tape it, and that's it. Like it's more about it just being simple and repeatable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have it feel like it's different every single
Yeah.
time. I hate that feeling. Like, I've got like routines and things like if something feels different, I don't like it at all. Like if a bit of the tape as well chips or comes off, like I have to redo it. I hate having things that are just slightly different.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Fair enough. It seems like a fairly normal sort of stick setup in terms of the grip and things
Yeah.
like that, which is quite nice. You're not as OCD as some people, so that's good. And then how are you finding their shoes?
The shoes are so comfy.
Yeah.
In comparison to what like other brands that I've worn previously. The shoes again, that is something that they're obviously that massive manufacturer of shoes. It is. It's probably their main sort of selling point. Like, and they've done a great job on them. That is again that slightly different grip to what you'd find on like different hockey shoes as well. They've gone obviously for like lots of little spikes on the bottom. And I need a shoe that really grips into the turf well because of the like the turning that I do. So like a speed athlete as well. Like, I can't be having something that's slipping all the time. So I really enjoy them, and I haven't had any issues with them at all.
No.
Like they don't rub in any places. Like they fit perfectly, and they protect my feet as well, which is like super important. But yeah, I love them. I think having the foam as well. Like I think it's like React foam or React X bottom of them makes them so comfortable, and I could wear them if you're coaching as well. I'd probably recommend those shoes because they're so comfortable just to walk around in. Whereas a lot of hockey shoes can have sort of quite a hard base and it can make your feet quite sore. These don't do that at all.
Yeah.
But you still feel as though you can push off them and they're not too soft.
Yeah, because I think it's almost like they've put the sole unit in two halves of foam. So the heel is that React foam, so it's really spongy when you're sort of coming down on it on the run. But then, just like you said, the front half of it, I think, is more solid with their sort of the Zoom Air technology or whatever. I can't quite remember exactly what it's called, which means that's really, really solid for then pushing off. So they've really thought about it well.
Yeah, they've taken like real care into it. I think actually I have a pair here. Yeah, so that's what it is. Like they're nice and thick along the bottom here, goes a bit thinner, so you can actually get a like. It doesn't feel as though you're just pushing into like really soft foam, but that obviously protects your heel there. But yeah, I love these shoes. The blue as well that I've got at the moment is probably my favourite, or like the orange, like leopard print one that I have is pretty nice, but it just doesn't go with any of my kit, which is slightly annoying.
I just wear them anyway. It doesn't matter that if it clashes with red socks.
Yeah, the black, it probably worked with the black
Yeah.
actually. Black Hawken kit, but they do stand out like a sore thumb, which I quite like. Like, I'm a big fan of bright shoes, so it works quite nicely for me.
Yeah. And then I'll sort of drop your name in quite a lot when we're selling sticks in the shop, purely because you're one of the few people that is public in the sense that you're not playing with a full carbon hockey stick. We on a daily basis get kids, adults coming in going, I have to have a full carbon stick. It's the only thing I have to have. It has to be this full carbon stick, or else I'll never be able to play well ever. And you're sort of going, no. And then now, because you went sort of and posted about it, I can quickly go, well, Matthew doesn't, and he's doing this. He plays with a softer stick. It's amazing that I think, especially in hockey, everyone just assumes that top end people are using full carbon sticks when actually they're probably sitting in around that sort of, I'll say 70 to 80% this sort of range.
Yeah, it probably sits. So yeah, it probably sits. I reckon 70 to. Some even play with lower than 70. To be fair, 70 like 85, 90.
Yeah.
But 100%, people just at the top level, people just don't use it really.
Yeah.
It's too hard. It doesn't give you the feel of the ball like at all. And like, all right, yeah, you might be able to hit it 5% harder, but that's useless if you can't even trap it in the first place. And yeah, and every time, like, if you bring down an aerial or something, you don't want it like bouncing off, or like if you're chopping a ball, you don't want it pinging off everywhere. So yeah, not many people are using 100% carbon sticks at all. And also, that we don't exactly play in the warmest of climates, so when you're hitting it around, pinging it around, like, it just hurts your hands, and it's not enjoyable for anyone.
No.
Like if you played in India or like Malaysia, I could kind of understand it because the sticks do get softer.
Yeah.
Some of the boys, like when we do go away to warmer climates, like we'll change to a higher percent carbon stick, just because of the heat. But like over in here in Europe, like
no point.
It's pretty rare. No, it's not really enjoyable for anyone. So yeah, people that think the top levels play with 100% carbon stick, like, it's not true. There might be like a few, but the majority are using way lower because they want the feel of the ball, they want that touch. And yeah, I think so the night one that I use, the Laser Select, is 85%. And I find it's perfect for me, in that sense. Like as a forward, again, like I still want a bit of power behind it, but yeah, like if I was a midfielder, like, I might even drop a little bit lower because again, I don't need to hit the ball really. Yeah. It's all about having a feel. Like I want to be able to have my eyes up and know where the ball is on my stick, and be able to trap things easily. So yeah, like, kids that go in and want 100% carbon stick, it's just not necessary at all.
Yeah.
And
normally,
I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, and normally, you turn around and go, yeah, then how often are you sort of hitting the ball? And they turn and go, I don't really hit the ball at all. And you're going, well, then you don't need this stick. So it's amazing the amount of, I think, misinformation that has just naturally gone round. I would say it's over here, it's in England, it's everywhere, that just go, all right, that has to be what we'll play with. And I think the more people like yourself actually sort of exposing that you're just using slightly less helps everybody in the long run. I think, again, certainly from a retailer point of view of trying to stop kids leaving with sticks that aren't maybe quite right for them.
Yeah, and so like you could sell it as like they're more expensive.
Exactly.
But if you wanted to, you can have the 100% one. Like we'll make more money out of it, but they'll go away and playing way worse because of it. Like nobody between like the ages of 10 to I'd say like 16, 17 needs 100% carbon stick. Like for a start, you're not strong enough to hit it, the power it requires. So you're actually not getting the benefits of the stick anyway. And it'd be far more beneficial to knock it down to 80%, 75%, and actually get that first touch right.
Yeah.
Because people don't. The game has changed as well, previous from where it was. Like people don't hit the ball as often. It's starting to come back into the game a little bit, in that sense. But it's far more beneficial to have something that you can actually stop the ball with instead of having it bounce off like a trampoline and chase after it.
If this hockey thing sort of fails for you and things don't go right, you're more than welcome to come and sell hockey sticks with that kind of attitude for us. By the way, that's our sales pitch sorted. But obviously, so going back then to Nike and being part of it, what was that whole thing like of sort of Nike coming to you going, we want to be, we want to support you, we want you to be part of us. What was that all like?
Yeah, so it's like pretty cool. Like everyone wants to be sponsored by Nike. So there's like sort of like the little story behind it is, so I was originally had another stick sponsor, and then things just weren't working out, so we sort of like stopped it there. And at the time, my social media was growing, so I was speaking to like a variety of different brands, but I wasn't quite happy with what was coming out of those sort of discussions, and I thought that the amount of effort I was putting in should have been valued at more than what it was. So I waited basically. It must have been almost like 8 to 9 months I waited.
Okay.
And then I got on board with a management team, so aerial management, which is actually run by Will Cowan, who's part of the GB squad, and Ben as well. So I started talking to those two, and they were like, just wait out. We'll like sort it all out for you, and we'll handle all the negotiations. Because as a player as well, it can become pretty uncomfortable trying to negotiate for yourself with stick brands.
Yes.
I think a lot of guys lose out because they're not willing to push back, or like they don't want to lose out on the money that's already been offered. Whereas as an athlete, you've got to sort of understand your value as well. But that comes down to things like social media. Now you're promoting the sport as it is. So there's different elements as well, and you've got to sort of understand like what you're worth. But they took over all the negotiation side of things. It was like, you just focus on your hockey at the moment. Like we've got something like in the pipeline. You just got to trust us and hold out. So I had another brand approach me that were offering like really good money, but they were like, no, just wait. Like we're talking with Nike, and I was like, all right, okay, I'll just sort of like wait out, then I'll hold out. Yeah, and like sort of like a few months went by, and I was like, guys, like what's going on? Like it's getting sorted. And then finally they were like, yeah, the contract's all good. Like we've negotiated it, and the contract that came through was like unbelievable. I was so happy with it. I had a quick call with Tice as well from Nike just to talk about things and go through sort of like what they wanted from me and what I wanted from them in that sense. And yeah, it's pretty cool talk. I was at home actually when I had it on Zoom, so I was at home like my family, and I was like, yeah, like they want to go through it, then like they want to sign me. So getting that done was pretty awesome, and they're really good in the sense that they didn't want to change anything that I was doing.
Brilliant.
They were like, you've got to where you are now because of what you're posting, because of what you're doing. Keep doing that. You don't need to change anything. That we're not going to force you to post certain things. You just like get the stick involved, get the brand involved, and that's what we want to see from you. And ever since then, ever since I've signed for them, they've been, it's the best sponsor I've ever had. They've looked after me like nobody else has, so I really can't complain at all. And again, with that management team, that they've sorted out everything. So everything's been pretty golden from my side, that I've got absolutely no complaints at all.
Brilliant. That's always a bonus. So it is. And then going back to your hockey career, you then decided to sort of take a year. Was it a full season or was it an Australian hockey season? So what's that? Our winter or our summer?
Yeah, no, it's our summer.
Right.
So I went out for their winter, so basically missed all the good weather. Melbourne actually gets pretty cold as well in the winter. Like still warm in comparison, but like you'd wake up and there's a bit of frost about.
Nice.
I wasn't quite living that Aussie dream of going down to the beach every day and sunbathing, but it was still really nice. So yeah, I went out, played out there for 6 months or so. Absolutely loved it. Very different style of hockey to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly different culture as well in the way that they live their life. Like it's very sort of morning orientated.
Okay.
That's obviously because the sun comes up, and it's very health orientated as well in comparison to maybe the UK. But I think it's due to the weather and the sun coming up. You can live that sort of life. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it was just different.
Yeah,
And you get away. I met so many new people that I wouldn't have met, obviously, in the UK. So it put me out of my comfort zone a little bit. We didn't quite get the result in the end that we wanted, but like we were still probably comfortably sort of like top three
brilliant.
teams out there. Um, and yeah, I learned a lot from that, and yeah, I definitely like to do it again.
Yeah. What initially took you out there? Was it something that you always wanted to do, or was it just an opportunity appeared and you went, I'm going to go for it"?
I think that because at the time I wasn't in the GB squad, I was like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get this opportunity again. I've heard really good things about going out there, so I didn't want to miss out on it. And yeah, it was something I've always wanted to do, like go out there, experience that lifestyle. So as soon as the opportunity came up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Not really going to look back and think about it. So yeah, it came up, went out there straight away, yeah, and loved it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And what what did you notice between this sort of style of play? Because I know a few people have said the sort of same thing when playing Australia, that it seems to be a lot more attacking focused sort of style of play over there, opposed to I think we get in the habit of doing a very structured build up through almost like rugby phases, sort of over here.
Yeah, I describe it as organized
Yeah.
chaos in the way that they play. So if you have the ball, it's all about how can we get it from RD to their D as quickly as possible in as few steps as possible,
Okay.
basically. It's very counter-attack orientated. Not that much is played in the middle of the
Okay.
park. Yeah, it's just like it's end to end. The game is way more tiring as well in that sense, like because there's just so much more running,
Yeah.
and there's no like I would say there's definitely there's less build-up play, there's less phases in comparison to over here. Like we like a much more structured game. Like in Europe especially, like we like it's much more
Hmm.
structured. We tend to sort of like build it and create that chance, whereas they're just like screw it, we'll just run faster than you in that
Yeah.
direction. If you can keep up, then fair enough. But if you can't, then we're going to get a shot away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very attacking minded, but it's fun because as a forward, you get way more opportunity, way more
Yeah.
chances. But yeah, it's pretty. Like after every game, I was pretty cooked. So yeah, it's very different style.
Yeah, I would say so. I think trying to explain that to people here that sort of lose it, there's like you can't play hockey like that. It just wouldn't
Yeah,
happen.
you got experience to understand
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Certainly, a few teams I've played on that just it couldn't happen. It's a build out from the back, win the free in the midfield, build out again. It's
Yeah,
very structured in comparison. Then.
yeah, definitely. And I think like playing that style of hockey over there, I can bring things from that game like over
Yeah.
here and try and although sometimes it might not work because it's a completely different style. Um, but yeah, it gives you a different
Mhm.
viewpoint of the game, and that's what you want. Like you want to see how other people are viewing the game because there's lots of times like they said stuff that I hadn't even thought about it like that. So you're actually learning stuff as well, and there's other stuff as well that they'd say, and I'd be like, that is I completely disagree with that. Um, and they obviously learn things from me, and I learn things from
Yeah.
them, and that's again what you need in the sport, and that's how you learn and how you grow as well as a player.
Yeah. Exactly. And then did that make sort of obviously coming back, and then like you said, you've recently in recent seasons moved to Holcomb. Does that help with that knowledge of being able to move to a new club, set out what you want to do, and sort of integrate your style of play with the style of play that they want to do?
Yeah, so I think obviously I've played across multiple different clubs. So I've had to settle in a few times, and understand like different how different players want to
Yeah.
play and what they like their style of game. So yeah, and playing in a different country definitely helps that. Um, Obviously, like, there's no language barrier over there, which is a big
Yeah.
advantage. Because yeah, my Dutch or German is not particularly good, so yeah, I probably struggle in that sense. But yeah, it's just nice to have like see different players, see different styles of play, learn from other players. And again, like, I went out there and I only knew there was two other English lads. Um, so like again, pretty much a completely new team for me to have to settle
Yeah.
into. Whereas over here, everyone kind of knows each other. So yeah, and they were like really welcoming as well. Like, I really enjoyed my time there. Like social side of things as well. There was always stuff to do. Melbourne as well, like great city. So if anyone's like thinking about it, I'd definitely recommend like don't miss the opportunity. Like you'll look back and regret
Yeah.
it. So yeah, definitely go out there if you get the chance. Even if it's like Sydney, Perth, Melbourne, like just go and do it.
Yeah. And how do you find the English Premier League and the hockey compared to the league that they had over there at that point?
So I think the standard is probably a little bit lower
Okay.
in Melbourne, but that's due to there just being less people in the obviously in the city, and you're only playing in that place because Aussie's just so
Yeah.
big. Um, but I did do a bit of training with Hockey Melbourne as well, or Melbourne HC in the Hockey One League. So I got to experience that. Obviously, that takes the best players from Melbourne and puts them in there, and that would probably be similar standard to the Prem over
Okay.
here. So if you took like sort of Melbourne HC and all of the Hockey One teams and put them in the Premier League, it probably probably more like the top
Yes.
six. That'd be a much more like even battle. But the league itself is probably a little bit lower standard. I think Perth has a higher standard of league just because it has all the Aussie players out there anyway. But yeah, I'd say the Hockey One League is probably more similar to the Premier League and like that top six than maybe just the Melbourne League. But again, that it gives me a chance to go out there and practice things that I wouldn't normally get to practice in the Prem, just because of that. The intensity is a bit higher over here, so I could just get on the ball more, play like slightly different positions, and yeah, it was a chance for me to improve my skills just because I was on the ball more, basically. So yeah, the league is like maybe a little bit lower standard, not by much. Like physically, I'd say it's pretty similar, just because the amount of running. But maybe just the standard of hockey slightly lower, but not by much. But then the Hockey One League obviously makes up for that in that sense.
Yeah. And then with being back over here and in Holcombe, how do you find the training split between sort of international training and then going back to Holcombe? Because I know with you guys, it's Monday to Wednesday or Monday to Thursday.
Yeah. So when the season's on, we train with GB Monday to Wednesday, and then club training on a Thursday. So there's normal club training Tuesday and Thursday, but we miss the Tuesday one, just because we've got training. And then when the club season finishes, we generally train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Like we kind of mix it up depending. So we get 4 days in there, and then add in sort of 2 or 3 gym sessions on top of that. But the split's nice. Like we've got training later today. Obviously, you're tired from the training throughout the week with GB, but because it's a different environment, that you get up for it, like you're around your mates and things like that. So it's really enjoyable, and so it just feels slightly different. In that sense, especially with the club thing.
Yeah, and then obviously, what does your sort of probably not leading up to any sort of tournament? What does then your week look like with that split? So on a Monday, is it all day pitch? Tuesday, is it pitch and gym? What's that sort of look like then for you on a typical week?
So just like our typical week, so the Monday to Wednesday. So Monday we'll be out on pitch in the morning. Might have like a video session before, and then we'll maybe do like a technical session with some small sided games added in there, and then gym in the afternoon. Sorry. Then Tuesday has moved kind of to a compete session, so similar to what we do in like gameplay, and like really sort of raising the level and the intensity of what we do. So it's similar sort of match play in that sense. And then we're sort of done from there. So we go like rest in the afternoon. Wednesday again can have a video session around it. So can Tuesday sometimes as well. Wednesday video session in the morning, training session as well after that. Then break and then into gym. And yeah, so that's kind of like what our structure looks like. Both the gym sessions vary as well depending on how heavy the load's been, like if we've had a double header or if the week's been hard. So, but a lot of it involves like injury prevention things, injury prevention exercises, and then a bit of like strength involved in that as well, because as hockey players we're in very unnatural positions. So you want to make sure like people are staying away from injuries, and you've got the whole squad training as much as you can. Like some of them you can't prevent, especially ones like you get hit on the foot. So yeah, like force injuries. There's nothing really you can do about those. But yeah, if we can like protect our hamstrings, groins, like calves, quads, and stuff like that, that's really what we're looking to do throughout the week. So we just play as much as we can, basically.
Yeah. And then the training session for then your club, in this case for you, Tolkien, is that Thursday session, is it looking to who you're playing then at the weekend? So it's a bit more of a, right, we're playing Old Georgians, so this is how they're going to set up, this is how we're going to train to sort of get a bit of an advantage on them.
Yeah, so I think Tuesday for club stuff is normally like the hard session, because obviously you've got like the week to recover. Then Thursday's a bit more technical. It will be like, a bit more technical and tactical. Like we'll work on both things depending on what we needed throughout the
Yeah.
week. Yeah, we'll do like video analysis on the team that we're playing. We'll go through sort of like the SWOT and sort of like what can we get out of it effectively, and then we'll look to implement that in the training. But Thursday, sorry, is like it's a lighter session. I'd say it's not like hell for leather running around as much as you can, because obviously you need that energy for
Yeah.
Saturday as well. But it's still got like a bit of like heart raiser in there as well. So there's still a bit of gameplay just to sort of like bring that intensity. But we'd mainly be looking at that technical work, connections with the team, and working on those really.
Yeah. And okay, so fair enough. So it's a, on a typical sort of Monday to Saturday, it's a fairly intense enough week then for you, you know, from international and club then.
Oh yeah, yeah. The weeks are pretty tough. And everyone's like, oh yeah, well you do what you love. You get to play sport all the time. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of running around that's involved in this, and a lot of thinking. I think that's what people forget as well. Like, while we're not just running around randomly, there's a lot of decision making that happens. So obviously you get like decision fatigue as well. Not only is it physically tiring, but it's mentally tiring as well. Um, so yeah, I think people can underestimate how hard it actually is, and a lot of this comes down to like recovery as well. So like once we've finished, our day isn't just done once we've finished training. Like we've got to make sure that we're recovering properly, stretching, like eating the right things. There's a lot of sacrifices that go into playing elite level sport that I don't think people understand, and don't quite grasp. There's obviously like the mental side of it and the physical side of it as well. So yeah, I think when people say, "Oh, like you get to play, you get to do what you love," there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that they don't see, and this is across all sports, like football, rugby as well. Um, so yeah, I think when you're in the environment, it's a very different perception of what's going on compared to when you're outside it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because again, through what you're sort of posting, I think more and more people can see that element of either just not rocking up and playing a couple of training matches, going home, and then, you know, I'll maybe train with my club if I feel like it, kind of thing. It is that ability for people to go, actually, no, they are doing as much as physically possible, I think is an eye opener for people.
Yeah, massively, and like there's so much stuff that we miss out on as well on the social side of things, um, like birthdays that you have to miss, or like just seeing friends that you have to miss. Um, that we just don't have that. There's loads of stuff that I'd love to do, but I can't do it because I've got hockey on the Thursday or the Saturday, and that on a Friday evening, for example, I want to get as much sleep as I can. So most of my Fridays, like they're not wild Friday nights. I spent like be having dinner at 7 o'clock, and then I'll be in bed by 9,
Yeah.
10. I'm not going out and things like that. So yeah, it's a very different life. Like I absolutely love it. I want to keep doing it for as long as I can, but it's very different life to what people think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
yeah, and compared to football as well, there's not exactly the money that's behind it.
True.
So you don't go and live that lavish lifestyle. You're not like rocking up in your Lambo, which I'm sure would make it far more enjoyable if you were. But yeah, it's completely different, I think, to what most people see, and that's what I want to do on my social media. So show the real side of sport and what it's actually like. So if people do want to go after it, they've got a bit of an understanding before they get there.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough, and I think that's what people need to see. The only thing I would say is, you know, with having that bit more money, a bit more like football, and getting the fancier sports cars, you wouldn't get your kit into it. That's the problem. There's not enough boot space in those
Yeah,
things.
no, yeah, that would be a struggle. Yeah, if I don't know where I'd put it. It's in my Lambo,
Yeah.
but I could figure it out. To be fair, I'm sure I could figure it
You
out.
just take the passenger seat out, and that can be just big storage there.
Yeah, I'd just have a driver behind me. That
Yeah,
can
fair
bring
enough.
with me,
I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
Um, with within international matches that you've played in those pro league games. How have you found the pro league to be part of in those matches that you have played? Because some people really like the format of these sort of, I'll call them mini tournaments. That's not really what they are, but those sort of mini blocks that countries go and play in. Or would you prefer what it used to be like? Was it the Champions Trophy, where it was big weekend of sort of tournament style hockey?
So I think in terms of international development for all the countries, I think the Pro League is really useful in that sense, because you get to play a lot of high quality games throughout the year instead of just like bundling it all into one. And like if you're injured, you might miss that. You might miss sort of that Champions Trophy. Whereas now we're getting games around Christmas, around Easter, summer. So there's always something to work towards. I think it can be. You've got to be careful in the sense of, I think football had it recently. I can't remember what it's called, like the Nations Cup or something, where like what are the games actually for?
Yes.
In that sense, whereas like they can become a little bit not meaningless, but what is the point behind them?
Yeah.
Like what are they working towards? And I think that's not like a country problem. I think that's just a sport problem. Like hockey in general, like what is the pro league? Obviously, it allows you. I think it's like World Cup qualifiers or something. So it does give you that advantage. But if you were watching it, there's no real like incentive or pressure if you're a fan to come down and watch. Especially if it only happens like once a year in your country, and I think that's the issue mainly with the pro league, is that it just happens in summer in the UK. Like, although it seems like it's going on all the time, it's actually only in your country once. Whereas maybe if you'd spread the games out Christmas time and summer, Easter, it would get a bit more people involved. But I really enjoy playing the games. As you said, that it's more international games, like higher standard. So it's definitely advantageous as a player for me. But maybe from like an outside viewer perspective, like you probably, it can seem a little bit odd, I guess.
Yeah. I go on, why is there all of a sudden 4 random teams playing here and then there's another break? Yeah, it can. I think that's maybe what potentially puts people off watching it, because you've got that. I'm only watching 3 games and only 2. It's 6 games for that mini block, but England are only playing in 2 of them. So why am I going to go and watch? But I think then the sort of more diehard fans are going, but I'm going to go and watch all these other brilliant countries go and play as well, which is the other hand of it.
Yeah, it can be. For like those diehard hockey fans, which to be honest, there are quite a lot.
Yeah.
There's more diehard ones than like sort of casual ones, which maybe is the issue. But yeah, if you get a chance to go and watch, you can watch like Australia versus Belgium in London. So it can be like really good for that. And that is one of the big bonuses of it, is you get to see a wide variety of teams in a short space of time. So yeah, it does have some like there's going to be like positives and negatives to everything, and you can't please everyone.
No.
So I think that's like the biggest thing. But yeah, there's probably like a few ways they can improve it, and there's probably like a few good things they need to keep as well. So it's quite interesting. It's an interesting format.
Yeah, it is. And you're also a fairly big advocate of having a break as well. And yes, hockey is a big part of your life, but having a break away from it is also very good for hockey life in general and life. Why do you think you've become sort of a bigger advocate for that?
So I think when you're younger, especially, like, you can just play hockey your entire life. Like you've got less responsibilities, you've got less things to worry about. So you can just play it all the time. Whereas I think as you get a bit older, especially once you finish uni, there's other things that maybe you want to like do in your life. You want to have breaks. You need that time off, like mentally as well. Whereas younger, you just got so much energy and you can just play all the time. I think it changes when you're older, and maybe like it probably would be advantageous again for like, when I was younger, like just to have breaks and just step away from it. And I did in some senses. But I think having that break, it's just a mental reset. It gives you a chance to miss it, which I think is really important. I know that like after I had sort of like a 2-week break, I was like, right, I'm ready to get back. Like I want to go back playing. I miss like seeing the lads that I miss running around. I miss playing. So I think it is like just giving yourself a chance to miss it is the biggest one, and just not to have to think about it and worry about it. For me as well, it is a job in that sense.
Yeah.
So you do have that break, and gives me a chance to try other things. So I like love getting out cycling in like Spain, Mallorca, and things like that. So yeah, just something else for me to try and get good at, or yeah, just relax, really eat some nice food, just have a proper break, have a lie in for a change.
Yeah.
So yeah, just I think it's just a mental reset is the biggest thing. I think everyone can benefit from it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for a week, you just go away, do something different, try to not think about hockey, go on your phone and talk about it. Can be huge.
Fair enough. And is that what spurred the Iron Man moment of like what were you thinking? That was like the thought of that for me
Yeah.
is hellish.
So again, that was when I was outside the squad. That's when I wasn't in it at the time, and I needed something to work towards. And I like doing things that are difficult and things that are uncomfortable and seeing how far I can push my body. And that's something I'd like to do after hockey as well, is continue things like that. So I think it was just something, it gave me a goal to work towards, something for me to challenge myself every day, learn something new in that sense. So yeah, it was just a chance for me to push myself in a different way. Like pretty much my entire life has been focused around hockey. So I was like, well, why don't we just give something else a go? Yeah, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Like there's easier things to have a goal for. You decide to go for the ultimate hard thing of having a goal to do.
Yeah, it was definitely on the extreme end. But I think that almost made it better because I was like, right, well, if you don't train, you're going to be screwed when the day comes. So yeah, it was very fun. I 100% will do them again. And like after hockey as well, I'd like to run ultra marathon, like 100 milers, things like that, and just experience something different. But yeah, I think even if it's like everything doesn't have to be focused around hockey. You can have other things, like other goals outside of that you want to focus on, other challenges. A lot of the guys in the squad they'll work in different areas or they'll run their own businesses. So there's different challenges, and it's something to again like have a break away from hockey, something else to look forward to.
Yeah, and then sort of probably going into more the area that people probably know you most for is we'll focus a bit more on that social media side of things that you're most famous for at this point. I think you obviously decided to start recording bits and pieces when you're out in Australia.
Yeah.
You've said that was sort of the start of it all. What was the decider in starting it? Was it just I'm gonna give this a go?
So I've always like been interested in social media, like not necessarily posting it, but I've always been interested in like how you can get people's attention and how you can grow the sport and just grow your own personal brand basically within it. And I was like looking at the media that was out there for hockey, and I was like, this is rubbish. Like this is so poor. I can definitely do a better job. And like something that I live by is like you can't complain unless you're doing something about it.
True.
And I was like, this is so poor, but like, I'm not doing anything to change it. So bought myself like camera, DJI, bought a chest mount, and was like, right, we'll give it a go. The settings took me ages to sort out. That was actually the biggest issue of it all. But then they were like over in Oz as well. They were really supportive of it.
Great.
With over in England, it's a completely different environment to what it is. Like I actually did originally before I went over to Oz. I had it out a little bit at Southgate, and like other areas, and like filmed other videos, other fitness videos, and like got chat from like other people outside. And in the UK, like people are way happier to put people down than they are to build them up, which is a big issue over here. Whereas in Oz, it's all about like, yeah, go on, mate, like that's really cool. Like, oh, can I see it? Like, how are you doing that? And they absolutely loved it out there, and they were so supportive. So it just made me more comfortable.
Yeah.
To get on it. And then like once I started editing, like I absolutely loved it, and I got like really good reception from it. And like one of the first few videos I posted out there hit 100k within a week or so. I was like, whoa, I can keep doing this. Like my social media was growing, and people were like, oh, we've been waiting for some videos like this for ages. Like thankfully someone's come along and done it. So yeah, I just sort of like grew from there. And then because I was out in Oz and they were so supportive, like any of the chat back home, I didn't really have to worry about it. Like, nobody was giving me chat, like, so it was fine. And I think that is the biggest fear within social media is people are scared to post because they're scared what other people think.
Yeah.
And that is such a big issue. Like, who cares what other people think of you? Like if you think you can, or if you've got something you're passionate about, you should be showing it off to as many people as you can. Like there's always people out within your niche that are going to enjoy what you put out there. Like if you love Lego, like go and show it off to people, like explain it to people. People are going to enjoy watching that content. So yeah, I think just like fear of judgment is a massive thing that gets in the way, especially in the UK in comparison to other countries. Like things like Australia, they have a lot of influencers. America, the same. Whereas because they build each other up instead of shooting them down. So yeah, it started to go over in Oz, and then when I got back, by the time I got back to the UK, I think I had like 8K followers by then, so I knew it was working. Like people were more reluctant to be like, "Oh, like, what are you doing?" because they could see that it was working. Yeah, so it's quite funny in that sense. And then I started to venture into different areas of it, like day in the life videos, showing sort of what goes on behind the scenes. And again, people are really receptive of that. And there's a lot of hockey mad people that want to see like what goes on, but nobody's doing it. So I like kind of got at the forefront of it. There's people like Drone Hertzberger as well who show off their social media, and he's really good at what he does. So yeah, just try different formats, try different sort of styles, like see what sticks, what doesn't stick, what do people like, and from there, like, it's really started to grow and take off. And I absolutely love doing it. And like the amount of messages that I get from people like, "Oh, I'm so happy you posted this. This has really helped me in this area," or "Can you try and do this style of video?" So, yeah, it's gone really well for me. Like I can't complain. There's obviously some people that still try and like shoot you down, and like give chat and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, at the end of the day, like you're just adding to my viewers.
Exactly.
Like you're watching the video, you're actually benefiting me by commenting on it or by watching it. So I kind of find it quite funny. In that sense, like it's a bit of honor. I'm like, you've got time to comment on my page or like give out hate. It's like you're wasting your time. Like the video's already posted for me. It doesn't mean anything there. But yeah, getting over that fear of judgment is a big one. When I first posted as well, I'd actually post it and then delete the Instagram app because I was like, I don't want to see what's going on. Like so nervous. And then I'd like download it the next day and like see how it's gone. And I reckon I did that for my first 5 videos. Every time I posted it, I just deleted it because I was like, oh, I don't want to see what's going on. And then over time, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't care like what people think. So yeah, and then since I've like once you get over that fear, you're way more happy to put yourself out there. And again, like be a bit more vulnerable on that side, and like showing that definitely helps younger athletes. And I try and post what I want younger me to see. Like if I was, I don't know, like 12 years old, 15 years old, what would I want someone to make? Like, how could I help me? So that's really what I try and do. So yeah.
No, it's been going brilliantly. Like I said, I think it's just like you pointed out. There isn't a lot in like hockey's a niche sport, and social media within hockey is even nicher. So it is that element of if you can do it, why not? And you the perfect person to show exactly how it does work for them, and you don't have to be like there's plenty of people out there doing it and they're not, part of the England GB setup, and I think that's what some people just don't want to do because they're like, well, I'm not there, so why would I do it?
Yeah.
But no, I think it's been fantastic, and what's really good is you have that variety of videos. It's not just I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. What's your favorite one to sort of record or do? Is it the POV ones, or a day in the life, or is it that sort of more informational ones?
So I kind of go through phases on what I enjoy. You'll be able to see in my content as well, like with what I've got scheduled to come out. Like I go through different phases of what I quite like. The story ones, like sort of explaining like my background, like where I've come from and what I've done, is enjoyable. It's nerve-wracking to put out there because again, it shows that vulnerable side. But it probably is what helps people the most.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like the education ones, like the goal scoring and things like that. They're not as fun to make because like it's not really me telling my story. I don't really get to show my personality as much. But yeah, I think the story ones are the most fun to make. What's interesting as well is that the ones that I put the most amount of effort in never do as well. Like, it's just so annoying. I'll spend like an hour, 2 hours on a video, and then it will flop.
Yeah.
And then I'll spend 30 seconds. I'll literally just clip another video, put some music over it, and then it's hit like 200k views. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really odd in that sense of what you put the most effort in never seems to do as well. So yeah, it's strange. But YouTube is like I've tried to get into the YouTube space now, and sharing that and like longer form content. I'd say is probably what I enjoy more, and what I like to really move into. So yeah, like making stuff that's sort of 20, 50 minutes long, like a bit more documentary on that style of things where I can show my personality, and get that across and be a bit more relatable in that sense. Whereas on Instagram, it's just basically about making the clip as short as you can and having a hook and engaging as it possible, which isn't always as enjoyable. I'm just like, right, can I clip 0.2 seconds off? Whereas on YouTube, like, I can let it flow and it becomes far more enjoyable for me. So yeah, they're completely different styles of content, and TikTok again is a different style, which I haven't really cracked as much. But that's even like the least amount of effort on TikTok does the best, because you just want to talk, like they don't want like cool edits, they just want to see your personality and get that across. And that's something that I definitely need to improve on that side of social media. Like each platform has its own niche that it caters to. But yeah, and it can be hard to fill all like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram. Like, it can be really hard to work across all three of those.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. Again, it's good to hear that someone else has the same issues that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll exactly the same as you. I'll spend an hour in the shop trying to think of a really good thing to sort of highlight a product, and then it does horrendously, and then I'll just put out something that goes, look at this, and it's the best thing we've ever done. It makes no sense.
No, I can't figure it out, and I spend there's multiple creators that I follow that do a variety of videos that I try and sort of emulate off, and even they can't figure it out as well. So it's good to know that even the people at the top of their game don't know what's going on. So yeah, you don't quite feel as lost as maybe I thought I did previously.
Yeah, no, you're definitely in the same boat as us as well. Or you do one that does horrendously on Instagram but unbelievably on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason.
No, yeah, and again, like stuff I've posted on Instagram has maybe it's come out and it's got maybe 15, 20k views. Post it over to TikTok, it's like 100k, and I'm like, what is going on?
And you post it at the same time. It's the same everything.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah, so I don't know what works. Well, I have a few ideas of what works, but what goes viral and what doesn't go viral is definitely not for you to decide. Yeah. It's how the algorithm throws it out there. Or I have no idea how it works, to be honest with you.
Yeah. One last question before I do the questions that I've given to everyone. Or it's not really a question, it's more of a statement. You put the video out about how you re-gripped your stick. Brilliant. You've completely done it the wrong way. You start in the middle of the stick and you work up.
No way. That you can't. If you start at the bottom, then you don't know how much grip is going to be left at the top.
Yes, you do.
And also your hand slides. I've got it here. Your hand slides the wrong way. So obviously I've gripped it down.
Yeah.
Here, see the ridges. So when my hand's at the bottom, I can pull it up, and it doesn't push against the grip. Whereas if it was the other way around, when I'd slide my hand up, it would push against all of this and push it up. But when you hit, you obviously take your hand off or you move it down. Whereas with this, you slide it up. There's people that start at the bottom should be in a psych ward. Honestly,
I think the opposite way. Why would you start from the top? It makes it far more difficult because you have, just like you shown, you have to get more tape the whole way down, and then you add more tape. I don't know if it's because we do it on like every 30 seconds when someone comes in. I know where to start a grip every time, and it finishes, and all I have to do is just trim a nice angle to it, and it's done. There's no hassles with it at all.
No, if someone gripped my stick upside down, basically is how you're doing it, I'd be absolutely fuming. I actually wouldn't be able to play. I'd have to, if it's before a game, I'd have to ungrip it and redo it again. There's no way I could go out like that.
It's the way the grip goes on in the factory. So we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, but factory grip, that's so different. That's a completely different kettle of fish. This is a factory grip, so different. No, if you're playing with a factory grip as well, you need help.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely mental.
doing that. Yeah, that is. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to step foot on the pitch if you're playing with a factory capacity. It should be sort of mandatory that the umpires, something that the umpires check before everyone goes out onto the pitch.
Yeah, because like, your hands get sweaty. It's coming off straight away. It's flying out of your hand straight away.
It's a danger to everyone
Exactly.
else.
But I will die on the hill that you're doing the grip wrong. No, look, thank you very much for joining us. The last couple of questions is something that we've asked everybody, and it's interesting to see everyone's point of view on it. The first question being, has there a rule that's come out in the past few seasons that you've either loved or hated?
The only rule that's not really changed is the aerial one. I'll tell you what I do think is ridiculous, actually. The 40-second for PCD,
Okay.
for getting your protective equipment on, is absolutely ridiculous. So they want players to be as safe as they can, like have all this protective equipment on, yet you only get 40 seconds or we're going to send you to the halfway line. Completely stupid. Because if I'm a forward, for example, I'm at the other end of the pitch and I'm a number one runner, it's going to take me 18 seconds to get back, 20 seconds to get back.
Yeah.
So then I've only got 20 seconds to get my kit on. I might be able to get half my kit on, and then the corner's going. So I'm running out with maybe like one glove on without my box on, and it's just it's stupid, to be honest. Like, it's something that you can tell that annoys me. It's absolutely ridiculous. That they want everyone to be safe, yet you only have a certain amount of time to get your kit on, and 40 seconds is not long at all. Like, either it should be 60 seconds, which is long enough for you to get back, get yourself sorted, make sure everyone's running the right lines, because obviously there's comms that goes on inside that as well. Or change it to, like, you should be doing it within reasonable time, and if you're taking the mick, that's when you can get sent to the halfway line. But at 40 seconds for PCD is
ridiculous.
Absolutely crazy. It's just dangerous. Yeah. It is dangerous.
Oh no, I totally agree. I think that's you were going down the aerial route like everyone else was, but I think you've pivoted nicely to this is. I absolutely agree.
It's just completely stupid.
It's especially with them coming out with the mandatory everyone must wear a face mask. So you're putting that pressure on the people anyway of going, right, I have to put this on, and now I have to put everything else on within this set amount of time. And sometimes I think they go, right, this rule works really well. It doesn't, but it works well on the international stage when you have ball patrol coming and tidying everything back up 9 times out of 10.
But they're not even. I don't think they're allowed. They're not even allowed to touch it.
Oh,
I think that's changed as well. So like that has wherever it goes, or that they can do something because they're not allowed behind the goal for some like safety or something like that. So, but yeah, it worked all right with the ball patrol because all your kit would be laid out nicely. Yeah. But like the actual, I guess the loophole is kind of because the face mask is mandatory. The first time you take your face mask off, you just chuck it.
Yeah, it's gone
over to the side, and then you go and get all your kit on. And you're like, oh, well, I haven't got my face mask on, and then you can wander over and get it while everyone else is getting ready. But yeah, 40 seconds for PCDs is ridiculously stupid, especially with the like drag flicks getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and they're dangerous as it is. Like even with the gear, like we're the only sport that has to put extra kit on for a set piece. Like no other sport does this. True. But yeah, we're asked to put kit on and then run down the line of a flick that's going at 120 kilometers an hour. But yeah, you've only got 40 seconds to get your kit on. Like, what is that about?
No, I totally agree. I think that's a brilliant answer. I couldn't agree more. Because even, like, I'm obviously not playing at your level. I'm playing at a completely different level. And you've still got, which annoys me, you've still got teams that will hold you to the 40 seconds. And you're going, we're not, you are a very good drag flicker or hitter of the ball, but you don't have the consistency of, Hendricks, who's going to put the ball nicely every time where he wants it. You're going to clip hit it, underdo it, and I'm in more danger, so give me the time.
Yeah, and even if it comes off on one runner, like you don't have time to react.
Yeah.
And like the kit that we're putting on basically protects your vitals. Like you're not running out with a chest pad, like thigh pads, or like feet protectors have only just recently come in.
Yeah.
And then the ball's being flicked at you, and then even as a postman, like you're seeing it late because of the number one runner. That is ridiculous.
No.
The whole concept of a short corner is kind of ridiculous as well. But then implementing or like putting restrictions on how long you've got to put kit on is crazy. And yeah, as you said, it's not consistent enough throughout the levels. And if people are hitting as well, because you can still hit off a corner, it's not always going to be on the
Exactly.
floor.
Oh no, totally
Yeah.
agree. I think that's a great answer. Well done. That's fantastic. Which probably leads quite well into then the second one is okay. We'll bar the aerial rule and the PCD equipment, but is there a rule change that you would like to bring into hockey? Now it could be something that would only benefit you. It could only benefit your team's style of play, international or domestic, or it benefits hockey in general.
For it to benefit, well, it'd be one that benefits hockey. I think corners should be worth less.
Okay.
I think that even as a flicker and as a number one runner as well, right, it works both sides. But I think you run into how is something that, let's say you win a foot on the edge of the D, right on the baseline, how is that effectively worth a 1 in 3 chance of scoring?
Okay. Yeah.
Just because it's on the baseline. And I think people play for corners. Like a good flicker will win you a tournament, which just isn't fair to the game. It's like in football, like even if you like the free kicks and stuff, a good free kick taker isn't going to win you the game. Like it's going to be really advantageous, but it's not going to win you the game. But a good flicker in hockey will win you the game. And I think if you're watching it from an outside perspective as well, I don't think it's particularly interesting because you can't even see the corner. Like it goes so quick, you have no idea what's going on. So, corners need to be worth less, or like change something about corners. Like Hockey One League kind of have it going at the moment.
Yes.
In
that it's an outfield's worth 2.
Well, you get shuffled.
Yes,
so
that's what it is.
Worth 1, so they're kind of like they're working along the lines there, and I think it makes their games way more interesting as well. Because of that, you get obviously high scoring games, but yeah, something around corners probably needs to be changed because they're worth too much for what they are, really.
No, that's fair enough. Another good answer, I think. I think that's 2 really solid answers. The last question is the question like from the first season that we started doing this to now is something I've asked everybody. It very much dictates how I think of you after this. So just to apply that pressure. Before training or before a match, how do you put your socks and shoes on? Do you go sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe?
So I'm actually really specific with my like socks and footwear. So for a start, everything has to go on the left side of my body first. But so I do like left sock. So I wear grip socks. So it'll be left grip sock, then right grip sock, then left tube sock, then my right. Okay. And then my left shoe, then my right shoe. So whichever way around you said. But then my right shoe has to be slightly tighter than my left shoe, but like not enough that I notice. But it still has to be slightly tighter. I think that's come from football when I was younger. Obviously, kicking a lot with my right foot. I didn't want my right shoe to come loose. So I've got like that weird superstition. But then it'd be left shin pad, then right shin pad. So everything has to sort of go on in that order, and it has to be like a few nuances with it.
Look, you're allowed as many, superstitions and nuances as long as you don't have a shoe on with your bare foot out. I'm perfectly happy.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be doing that.
And
that's not.
And I've said to every guest, you have full reign to shout at someone that if you ever see do that in a changing room on your team, just hurl abuse at them.
Yeah, that's weird. You should be getting yourself dressed properly. I think I probably speaks volumes of how you're brought up, to be honest with you, if that's how you're getting yourself dressed.
Exactly. No, that's fair enough. But look, Matthew, thank you very, very much for doing this. It was very enjoyable. Is there anything that you want to plug or push people towards? Obviously anything, relating to you, we'll put in the descriptions of things as well.
Nothing really on like a personal side, but I just think if anyone's watching this who doesn't play hockey, like go and find your local hockey club, get involved in it. It'll be the best thing that you ever do. You'll meet some of the best people. You'll meet some of your closest friends. So yeah, get involved in hockey as much as you can, and volunteer for your clubs and do as much as you can on that side of things. Like, hockey clubs need as much help as they can get at the moment. So yeah, get yourself involved. They'll appreciate it more than you know.
No, perfect. Thank you, Matthew, and thank you very much, everyone that's decided to watch. If you didn't want to watch my face for an hour, which is completely fair enough, you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music as well. Leave in the comments below how you put your socks and shoes on. We can argue with you there. Equally, you can let us know how you put your grip on, if you put it on the right way or if you put it on Matthew's way. But look, thank you very much, Matthew, again, and enjoy the rest of your season.
Thank you very much, mate. Take
Cheers.
care.